Hare Krishna.
So we're going to sing Bhaja Hure Mana Chinandanandana. You know that song?
Yes, Prabhu.
I don't have this
It's
here.
page 100 in my book, but the name of the title is Bhaja Hure Mana Chinandanandan. That's Govinda Das Kaviraj. Try to find it and let me know when you're ready.
Govinda Kaviraj. Do I have any Kaviraj thing in this book? In this Vaishnava book?
Purnachandra Mataji in the songbook at the back, if you look for the Bhaja Hureman, you will know which page your bhajan is. Just at the back.
What is the
Starting
name
from-
of the bhajan?
Let me write it down.
Hure Nemana 109.
Bhaja Hure.
Yeah, 109.
Got okay.
Bhaja Hu.
Okay. Bhaja Humana Shri Nanda Nanda.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
109.
Good. So you guys are ready?
Yes, Prabhu.
Bhaja Hure Mana Shinanda Nandan Abhaya Charanara Vindare.
Bhaja Huremana Shri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare.
Dulaba Manav Janmana Satsangi Taro Taraho Hebav Sindure Dulaba
Janama Satsangi Tadawe Baba Sindure.
Shita Prapa Batavari Shana Edina Jamini Jagire
Sita Atapa Bhagavati Sana
Jamani Jagiri
Jagire Vifale Sevinu Kripana Durajana Vifale Sevinu Kripana Durajana Chapala Sukha Laba Lagire
Chapasuta Yaba Nagiri.
Edana Yobana Putra Parijana Ite Kiache Paratitire
Idana Yobana Putra Jana Itikiati Patiti
Kamala Dala Jal Jivana Talamala
Kamala Dalanjala Jivana Talamala
Bajahu Haripad Nitire
Bajau Haripad Nitire
Shravana Kirtan Smarana Vandan
Shravana Kirtana Ismarana Vandana
Pada Sevana Dasyare
Adya Sevana Dashare
Pujana Sakijan Atmani Vedana
Pujana Sakhijana Atmani Vedana
Govinda Das Abhilashare
Govinda Dasabi Lasare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha, Madan Mohan Radha, Madan Mohan, Shri Radhe.
Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radhe.
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram.
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram.
Jaya Radha, Govind Madhav Radha, Govind Madhav, Shri Radhe.
Jaya Radha Govinda Madhav, Radha Govinda Madhav, Shri Radhe.
Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai.
Jai Shila Prabhupada, Jai Shila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Shila Prabhupada.
Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Srila
Jai
Prabhupada.
Guru Dev, Jai Guru Dev, Guru Dev, Jai Guru Deva. Guru
Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri
Jai,
Radha Govinda Madhav ki Jai,
Jai,
Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai,
Jai,
Shri Gonitai ki Jai,
Jai,
Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai,
Jai,
Sadhu Sangha ki Jai,
Jai,
Shrimati Tulasi Devi ki Jai,
Jai,
Shri Guru Parampara ki Jai.
Jai.
Spagatam, Suspagatam.
Hmm.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So let's sing Sri Krishna Lilastava.
Okay.
And do you have it under your eyes? Otherwise, I will
Yeah, we
manifest,
have.
manifest it. Go ahead for those who have it ready.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I don't have Prabhu.
Okay, I'm going to put it on the screen. But in the meantime, those who have it, you can start singing.
Sarva Piyosha, Sarva Vedika Satpala, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadiya, Sarva Lokya Dat Pradam. O nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular fruit of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gem of all conclusive truth, you are the only giver of light to all the worlds. Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kalidan Ditotya, Sri Krishna Parvita. O life air of all the Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master, Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun risen in the darkness of Kali. You are the exact image of Sri Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
You read Prabhu. I don't have access to it right now.
Oh, can you see on my screen or not?
No, I can't see.
So
No.
let me, it's funny
Yeah.
to share. Let's see if I,
Bodhani there.
okay. And now, can you see now?
No.
No, okay.
Nani?
So let's see, it's right here. And now, can you see?
Sometimes.
Paramanand Pataya, can you?
Yeah. Now Paramanand is here.
Okay, go ahead. Anyone?
Yeah.
Arinishta, you can go.
Yeah. Paramananda Pathaya Prema Varshi Aksharayate Sarvada Sarva Sevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namastutme. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer respectful obeisance unto you. By reading you, one attains transcendental bliss. For your syllables rain pure love of God upon the reader. You are always to be served by everyone, for you are an incarnation of Lord Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu, are you there? Moshika Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu.
can you see or not?
Part of the
It's
verse.
maybe too difficult, huh? Madek Bando, Mad Sangin, Mad Guru, Mad Mahadan, Mam Nishtaraka, Mad Bhagya, Namad Madananda, Namostute. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, O my companion, O my teacher, O my great wealth, O my deliverer, O my good fortune, O my bliss, I offer respectful obeisances unto you. There's one left.
Okay.
Oh.
Sadhu Sadhuta Vidhayan. You go ahead, Prabhu.
O Srimad,
Sadhu,
okay, go ahead.
Okay. Asadu sadhu chadayanin atinis chochatakara namunchan kadachin mam premat kan supra. O bestower of the saintless to unsaintly or exalted to the most fallen, please never leave me, always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you so much. One thing we didn't read, the wordings of Bajahure Mana.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's very important because it's a very beautiful song and extremely pertinent. O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which make one fearless. Having obtained this rare human form of life, cross over this ocean of worldly existence through the association of saintly persons.
Both in the day and night, I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of the heart, of the heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For the fraction of the flickering happiness, I have uselessly served wicked and miserly men. What assurance of real, does anybody else want to read? What
Yeah.
assurance of real happiness is there in all of one's wealth, youthfulness, sons, and family members? This life tottering like a drop of water on the lotus petal. Therefore, you should always serve and worship the divine feet of Lord Hari. Number 4. It is the desire and get longing of Govinda Das to engage himself in the 9 process of bhakti, namely hearing the glories of Lord Hari, chanting the glories constantly,
Yes.
remembering him, and offering prayers to him, serving the Lord's lotus feet, him Lord as a servant, serving him completely,
Actually
offering
at 9 in very far.
very south.
Não posso, 7. 7 still no Goshala. He coming com milk, 7:30.
Gonna be tight. Huh?
Yeah, no, not to do. He work with Namacharya.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. It's a great song, Bajahuri Manashi Nandana. Can you see my screen on the the recap of
Yes, we can see
Gauranga
that.
Darshan? This is
Right?
so. Let's sing the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shadakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Vayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Shvapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shah Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Samjivam Tadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchane Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Krishna Banu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanshakal Tarudasha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sadgor Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, so we're in the 7th chapter, and remember, what's the link with the previous chapter? The very last verse of the 6th chapter, if you can look it up, Brahma is saying something very interesting.
Now I will describe the Lila avatars.
Yeah. Now it's shifting to a different. Before we talked about the guna, basically, sorry, the Purush avatars, dealing with Shrishti Tadva. Shrishti means creation. Shrishti Stiti Pralaya. Shrishti creation. So we talked about Sarga and also Visarga a little bit. But now it's shifting. O Narada, now I shall state one after another the transcendental incarnations of the Lord known as Lila Avatar. Hearing of the activities counteracts all foul matters accumulated in the ear. These pastimes are pleasing to hear and are to be relished. Therefore, they are in my heart. And then he's shifting to chapter 7. So basically, it's not only Lila avatars. It's written here, Manvantar. There's six types of avatars. What are the 6 types of avatars?
Leela Avatar,
Yeah.
Guna Avatar,
Manvantara
Shakti
avatar.
Yes, Manvantar avatar. Then Shaktivesh avatar.
Avatar,
Shaktivesh you find direct and indirect within. Then also
Yuga
Yuga.
avatar.
Yes, Prabhu?
Yuga avatar.
Yuga avatars, yeah, definitely. So when we say, it's mentioned here by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, Leela avatar, Manvantar, Shaktivesh, and Vibhuti. What are Vibhutis? According to Jiva Goswami, Vibhutis stand for? Vibhutis are basically the demigods. When an incarnation has less power, they're called Vibhutis. When they have more power, they are called Avesh. And within Avesh, you find direct or indirect. So now we are in the thick of that. We just started off, actually. Can you recall any, just briefly, before we move on, can you recall any things pertaining to the avatars we covered already? I just put it under your eyes.
You spoke about Varaha avatar.
Yeah, exactly.
Vara, and then Suyajna, the son of Ruchi and Akuti,
Yeah.
and also about Kapil Dev, who is the son of Kardamba and
Devotee.
Devahuti,
Yeah.
and also Dattatreya. Actually, when I was reading about Dattatreya, it was kind of mind blowing to really grasp the mood he came with, the life he spent, the way he was acting like a dumb person.
Yeah.
And
Dattatreya is none other, Sridhar Swami explained that, I told you, is none other than the Avaduta Brahman that is discussed in 11th canto. And even more mind-boggling is Sridhar Swami explained this Brahman Avadut is Lord Krishna himself.
so you mean Dattatreya is directly Lord Krishna, not his expansion, you mean?
Well, it's quite mind-boggling to me also. Sridhar Swami, he makes the point that this Dattatreya is not different from the Lord. I mean, sorry, not different from Brahman Avadut. I don't know if you know the story of the Avantika Brahman, the Avantika Brahmana in the 11th canto. It's a very powerful story. So much glorious that Krishna will tell that story to Uddhav. So it's not to be belittled, this story. And Sridhar Swami is quite explicit. He says he's the supreme, this Avantika Brahman. And now he's saying, and this Dattatreya is not different from the Avantika Brahmana.
So, Prabhu, if you don't mind, since I'm a little bit curious about the pastime of Dattatreya, you mentioned that Krishna narrated this pastime to Uddhava.
No, but get it right. The story that Krishna told Uddhav is the story of Avantika Brahmana. I don't know if you know that story in the 11th canto.
So about Dattatreya, if I want to know more,
Okay.
where will I?
Now, Sridhar Swami is saying that the Avantika Brahmana is none different from Dattatreya. So by correlation, it's like mathematics, is if A equals B and B equals C, you can say A equals C, isn't it? So if I tell you that according to Sridhar Swami, Avantika Brahmana is not different from God. And then if Sridhar Swami tells us after that that the Avantika Brahmana is not different from Dattatreya, we can surely say Dattatreya is not different from God, which is totally, I mean, mind-boggling. But I mean, Sridhar Swami is the greatest commentator in the history of mankind. So we cannot belittle Sridhar Swami. But what we
Yeah,
can,
so
yes, go ahead.
I particularly want to know if there is more to learn about Dattatreya's appearance. Just like Ramachandra, we have a lot from his childhood, what he
Yeah.
did,
So
like
if you
that.
can look it up, remember, where's the other chapter? Long, long back, we discussed about incarnations.
That's in Canto 1, I think chapter 3 or 4.
Three. So
Yeah.
if you want to know further about Dattatreya, you have to look into Brahman Puran. So look it up in 1-3-11 if you have the first canto.
Okay, 1-3-11. Yeah.
So we get to know that Atma Gyan, it's mentioned Anvikshitim. So definitely Dattatreya he spread a personalistic philosophy. Sometimes it happens. The Lord himself is going to spread an impersonal philosophy. What is the other example that comes to mind?
Shankaracharya.
Yeah, Shankar, of course, is not Vishnu himself, but is Lord Shiv, which is practically Lord Shiv is a transformation of Lord Vishnu. So sometimes it happens. We hear in 1-3-11 that there's a connection with Narayan Kavach of the 6th canto. Narayan Kavach means armor. So each and every incarnation is going to provide you with a specific protection. What is the protection pertaining to Dattatreya? It keeps one from falling from the platform of bhakti. So it's a very important precaution for us. If we pray to Dattatreya, it's going to help us not to fall off the platform of bhakti. Now, number 2, it's mentioned that he used to keep a dog. Dattatreya. And there's many mandirs, temples of Dattatreya in Maharashtra. Yeah. So we can make you can make a search if you want, Alishta, for the next class. There's more to say on the first canto, 18th chapter, 1:18:18. There's also more to say on Dattatreya there. Look it up. 1:18:18. But the real source of knowledge for Dattatreya is Brahman Puran. Yeah. And he was Dattatreya, the son of Atri. And Anasuya. Anasuya was the wife of Atri. Atri is a Manasiputra, is direct son of Lord Brahma. Extremely powerful person. Yeah. So now let's move on back to the second canto. We discussed about Lord Naranayan in 6, remember? And we finished with them actually.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Kamam dahanti kritino manurosh drishtya rosham dahanta mutate nadahantya sayam soyam yadantaram malam pravisham bibeti kama katam nu punarasyam manashrayeta.
Okay, great salwards like Lord Shiva came by there wrathful glances overcome lust and vanquish him, yet they cannot be free from overwhelming effects of their own wrath. Such wrath can never enter into the heart of him, the Lord, who is above all this. So how can lust take shelter in his mind? So here in 277, it's talking about Lord Shiva. And then like when he was in meditation, then the Cupid, right, which is a demigod of lust, and sex desires, right? Then and Shiv, like Lord Shiv, is very powerful by his glance, like the Cupid got annihilated, right? And there's no wrath for Vishnu, like for God, there's no wrath for that, but Shiva, he's not that much protected. And Brigu Muni, like for tolerance, they were saying something about the Brigu Muni, how he had kicked the Lord on his chest, but the Lord did not get upset at all because he had so much tolerance. He just said Brigu Muni's legs must be too tired because his chest was too hard. And then and the lust and desire is not fulfilled. And the Lord is Apta Kama. He fulfills his own desires.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if the Lord gets upset or mad, like he's gonna give benediction.
Exactly. Brigupad, the feet of Brigu. Brigu is even beyond the, what do you call it? It's mentioned here, I believe. Or perhaps further down. Brigu Lok is even beyond Dhruv Lok. We're going to discuss with Dhruv. And below Dhruv Lok, you find the Saptarishi. So Brigupad, yes, definitely. This is the mark of tolerance of Lord Vishnu. He tolerated. Not only that, he excused himself. So that is why, by the way, we've been cursed. All the followers of Brigu have been cursed. And basically, Brigu, who is Brigu, by the way?
Brigu.
Sorry?
Who was Brigu?
Don't confuse Brigu and Brihaspati. What's the difference?
Brihaspati was
Brigu Muni is the son of Brahma. Brihaspati is a priest of the demigod.
Very good. Very good. And the lifespan of Brigu is extremely long. Look it up. It's in hundreds of millions of years. It's beyond Druvlok, his planet. Extremely advanced personality. Brihaspati is the guru of Indradev, whereas Brigu is like a priest, basically. So, yeah, what's striking here? First of all, Cupid, yes, the god of lust, we could say love, and basically is an expansion of Pradyumna, Kamadev. For those who sing the Gayatri Mantra, the very last one, remember? The Kamadev Gayatri Mantra. This is Kamadev Anang. Anang means Cupid, but I would say the spiritual prototype of Cupid is Pradyumna, which is a Chateau Vyuha. Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Anirudh. So this is the transcendental Cupid that we have seen in the Gayatri Mantra, the very last one. We meditate on the transcendental Cupid, Anang. But be careful, what we are dealing with here in 7 is Cupid, which is a demigod, basically. But it's like I would say, a mature expansion of Pradyumna. And Anang means bodiless, because like you said, like it's mentioned here, he's been burned to ashes, can you imagine, by Lord Shiva. Yeah. So Prabhupada explained in 7 that the Lord is unlimited, hence his desires are unlimited. That's an important point. And how can we serve? How can we please the unlimited because we are limited? So there's a dichotomy, you know? How can the limited satisfy the desires of the unlimited? That is why we need the help of Srimati Radharani. We have to serve Srimati Radharani basically via the medium of Mahaprabhu Panchatattva. We are assisting, we are not serving. We are assisting those who serve. We sing in the morning, Nikunya you know radically ya. So when you do puja, actually you are assisting your guru. Whatever you do, you are assisting. You cannot say, well, I'm serving. You are assisting the guru, assisting a great devotee. Okay, so yeah. And of course, the key point of 7 is even Lord Shiv fell into the wrath. I mean, he fell prey to wrath. So that's indicated that he's not totally on the same level as Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, because Lord Vishnu, Prabhupada, he has a mark of tolerance. He can tolerate anything. Just like a mother, the baby is passing stool on the mother practically. And she tolerates it. So in the same way, we are, even the bhumi, we are spitting on the earth. We are passing water. She tolerates. We are like brats, little brats. So this is what it is here. Yeah. And then back to 8. I mean, not back, but carrying on with 8. Vidha satpatnyudita patribir anti ragyo. Balo pisan upagatas tapasevanani. Tasma adat dhruv gatim grinate prasanno. Divya stuvanti munayo yadu paryadastat. This is 8.
Being insulted by sharp words spoken by the co-wife of the king, even in his presence, Prince Dhruv, though only a boy, took to severe penances in the forest. And the Lord, being satisfied by his prayer, awarded him the Dhruva planet, which is worshipped by great sages, both upward and downward.
Yeah. Yeah, you can shed a few words, Prabhu.
Yeah, so here it's speaking about Dhruv Maharaj, how he went to the forest after being insulted by his stepmother, Surichi,
Yes.
and his father did not intervene. So he was very upset by this.
Yeah.
And so, and he, when his mother saw his lamentation, and she advised him to go to the forest to seek the Lord.
Yes.
And little Dhruv immediately left the kingdom in his pursuit, and there he met with his spiritual master, Sri Narad Muni, who instructed him, especially to chant the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yes.
And there Dhruv did lots of penances, divya penances, and he satisfied the Lord within 6 months. The Lord appeared before him in
Yes.
6 months.
That's true. Who is Lord Prishnigarba? Huh? Prishnigarba.
Is the Lord incarnation.
Yeah, it's Vasudev's, Lord Vasudev's incarnation is Vishnu Tattva, and this is a specific form that appeared in front of the little boy, Dhruv, accompanied, of course, by Garud. So it's a beautiful lila. Mahaprabhu used to relish back to back, on and on, Mahaprabhu sometimes for hours on end, as told by Gadadhar Pandit, would really
But
in a how do you say, real to real, like ongoing. He finishes again, you start, ongoing, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, days. Dhruv
what was
Charita, Prahlad Charita. Yes, Prabhu.
what was so attractive in this Dhruv Katha to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Well, first of all, because it belongs to Bhagavatam, and the lessons imparted into those two, Prahlad and Dhruv, are extremely pertinent.
No,
What is the lesson, in very brief, of
yeah.
imparted by this katha? What is the lesson of Dhruv?
Oh, the lesson is like determination. We can learn how to be like really determined to.
Yes. And what
And then
else? Yes.
I think chanting was one thing with Dhruv, right?
Yes, but yes.
I,
What is the
yeah,
overall lesson?
what can I speak?
Yes, please.
So with Dhruv Maharaj, I mean, I'm just trying to see, whatever difficulty you have and whatever you want in your life, you take shelter of Lord Vishnu and no one else. And see, after he took shelter of Lord Vishnu, his desire was fulfilled, and he also got rid of his impurities, his impure desires, and also he was awarded the best.
Yeah, this is
So
exactly what I was
well,
thinking. So remember, what is the verse in the Gita? Talks about Mishra Bhakti. What is it in the Gita, 7th chapter? Shatu vida bhajante mam jana sukrito arjuna arto jigasu atarti ganicha bharata shaba. So Dhruv stands for one of those four. Which one? Shatu vida. Shatu means four. There's 4 types of personalities in 716. What is the one as exemplified by Dhruv? Was he a Gyani? Was he a Tarti? Sorry, a Jigyasu, a curious person? No.
No.
Was he
He
after
was of the
wealth?
material
he
world.
he was in distress.
Exactly. So it's called Artha.
No, but he was of the material world also. He wanted the kingdom better than
Yeah,
his
so
father
it
of
was a mixture of Artha, Artharti. So we could say 716, definitely Krishna says in 717, yes, or 718 even, they are magnanimous, no doubt, yes, but they're not Mahabhagavat. So he started off on the lower platform of bhakti, very low actually. It's called, I would say, Sakam bhakti. It's a mixture of artha, distressed. I want something. He wants something. Can you imagine what does he want?
a kingdom better than Lord Brahma.
So Brahma is, by the way, what's the connection between Dhruv and Brahma in terms of genealogy?
Brahma is the grandfather of Dhruv. His father, Uttanapad, is the son of Brahma.
No.
No?
Uttanapad is the son of Swayambhuva Manu.
Oh.
And then Swayambhuva Manu is the son of Brahma. So Dhruv is the great-grandson of Lord Brahma. So you can see that it's very close. We are at the dawn of creation here. I mean, creation, sorry, of the Kalpa. So all this to say that the lesson to be imparted is even Mishra Bhakti of that sort can be redeemed, provided the boy was extremely sincere. Number one, he had Paka Guru, Narad. Number two, Paka Mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And number three, and not the least, he was extremely determined. So, can you imagine at the end of the day, he got, what did he get, by the way? When he saw Prishnigarb, Lord Prishnigarb touched him with his shank, then the boy offered wonderful prayers. I mean, it's called Dhruv Charit. It's beautiful prayers. I was asking for broken pieces of glass. It's mentioned in Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. I was asking for broken pieces of glass and you gave me diamonds. He's ashamed. The boy is ashamed. And Prishnigarb will tell him, you're going to be ruling 36,000 years. You go home. And on top of that, at the end of the day, I'm going to give you a Vaikuntha Lok planet in the material world. Shvetadvip, Dhruv Lok. It's a fixed planet. It doesn't move. What is the correlation between this planet and the other planets? All the other planets, including the sun. What are we doing in Mayapur, the TOVP? What's the model like? The Vedic?
Like all the planets revolve around Dhruv Lok.
Exactly.
Showing the planetary system.
Yes, but Prabhu is right. This is the only planet which has no orbit. It's fixed. And for the sailors on the sea, it's very important, the North Pole. So the North Pole, the pole star, sometimes we say, it doesn't move. It's always towards the north. So you are on the sea, you're a little lost. Then from that you can make out. It's like a chandelier. And chandelier, you have seen, there is one central piece, and all the other pieces of glass are revolving, are scattered all around that central piece. That central piece in the universe is Shvetadvip, Dhruv Lok. It's a Vaikuntha Lok. It doesn't die. It doesn't get destroyed at the time of Pralaya. It's a very important point.
And also, Dhruv Maharaj did austerities in Madhuban, Mathura.
Yeah.
So the incarnation, Prishnigarba, the expansion of Vasudev. So if it would have been Vrindavan, then he would have darshan of Sri Nandanandan, Shamsundar.
Yeah, true. True. Yeah. So Vishwanath here, let's see what it says. It talks about, there's more connection. I mean, there's more information on Prishnigarb in 10.332. Prishnigarb basically, this is the verse. 10.332. My dear mother, best of the chaste, in your previous birth, in the Swayambhuva Manu, you were known as Prishni. See, remember, Prishnigarb, Prishni, Sutapa and Prishni, remember? Who are they? In their previous lives, Sutapa and Prishni.
So
they became none other than
the father of Lord Ram.
Sutapa and Prishni is Devaki and Vasudev. Can you imagine? So can you imagine? What happened is way back in Satya Yuga, at least under, it's called Adimanu. Swayambhuva Manu is the most powerful Manu. It's called Adimanu. It's the number one amongst the 14. In those days, Prishni and Vasudev meant to become later in Dwapara Yuga, Vasudev and Devaki. They performed severe austerities and they wanted to have God as a son, as their son. And the verse there, 10:32, explain that, yes, my dear mother, because I was attracted to your love. Then 10:41, you were so simple-hearted and so endowed with so many good qualities. Prishni Garb, what's the meaning of Prishni Garb? Very interesting name. Prishni Garb. Prishni Garb, Garba means?
One who comes from
Yes.
the womb.
So in other words, can you
Garb is-
imagine the level of devotion? He has taken the name of that lady, Prishni, because she has so much love. She has attracted him in her womb. This is the level. Can you imagine? So that's why it's called Prishni Garb. So this is the same personality that appeared at the time of Dhruv. We are talking about the same person here. 10:332 corroborates that. 10:341. So it's mentioned by Vishwanath, his birth, the birth of Dhruv, are mentioned in the 10th canto, but not his activities. And now in that verse today, 278, his activities are mentioned, but not his birth. So Laghu Bhagavatamrit is a book of Rupa Goswami explained, since the activities of the son of Prishni are not mentioned in the quotation from the 10th canto, and Prishni's name is not mentioned in the 2nd canto quotes, the two can be taken as the same person because of the need for both name and activities for avatar descriptions. So we're talking about the same person. We're talking about the same person. This is the same person that appears.
Just next time to film more makeup.
Sorry,
Like,
say it again.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Prabhu. I was talking to my daughter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it is the same Prishnigal, okay? So now, Vishwanath is very specific. One should not say that this verse describes how Narayan came from Vaikuntha for Dhruv. And thus, this is a separate avatar called Dhruv Priya. See? In other words, it's a separate avatar, Dhruv Priya. In other words, just like the same Prishnigarb was attracted by the love of Prishni, that's why he took birth later in her womb when she was Devaki. In the same way, Dhruv Priya, that avatar Prishnigarb, Priya means Dhruv is very dear to him. That is why he specifically came just for him. You follow? So now, Laghu Bhagavatamrit tells further, if one were to argue that the Lord could be considered a separate avatar for just approaching Dhruv, this should apply to other forms of the Lord also. So sometimes the Lord, just for one person, is going to appear. Who is the other example in the Bhagavatam?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Exactly. Nrsimhadev, why do you think he appeared? Did he appear to kill Hiranyakashipu? That's number two. Number one is he appeared to release Prahlad, to mitigate his suffering, to protect Prahlad. That's the number one. Number two is, by the way, I'm going to kill you, my dear Hiranyakashipu. But that's number two or three. Number one is, I want to protect my devotees. So in the same way, Prishnigarb, Dhruv Priya, Dhruv is so dear to him, he came just for him. That is why Mahaprabhu is so lovingly relishing Dhruv Katha. Because he knows the Lord himself specifically incarnated to Dhruv Priya. Dhruv is so dear to him. This is Yad Vinam Utpatagatam Dvijavakya Vajra Nishputa Porusha Bhagam Nidaye Patam Kadvartito Jagati Putrapadam Chalebe Dugdava Sunivasuda Sakalani Yena. Go ahead.
Okay, I had one question from the last one, Prabhu, before we go into this.
Yeah.
One easy question. Okay, in that purport it says, Prince Dhruva was initiated by Narada into chanting the hymn composed of 18 letters, namely Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. So I could not get what is the 18 letters there.
18 syllables, I guess. Or count Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's 18.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, thanks. So we'll go to next.
Yeah, that's okay. 9. Go ahead, translation.
And Maharaj Vena went astray from the path of righteousness, and the Brahmanas chastised him by the thunderbolt curse. By this, King Vena was burnt with his good deeds and opulence and was en route to hell. The Lord, by his causeless mercy, descended as his son by the name of Prithu, delivered the condemned King Vena from hell and exploited the earth by drawing all kinds of crops and produce. So this is 9.
Yeah.
Okay, for this one, Maharaj Varna, like he did not follow the rules and the principles, so that's why he was cursed, right? And the Brahmins chastised him by the thunderbolt curse, like very, very bad curses, right? And then and King Varna, he was burned with his own good deeds because he was a really good and opulent king, but because he did not follow the principles, he went to hell. So then Prithu, his son was Prithu Maharaj, right? Then
Yeah.
I think he came and then he went to Kurukshetra and then he did the purification and he got his father's suffering and everything back, right? So so then it was very, very evident that you have to pay obeisance to your great souls. Like if there are great people there, you have to be good to them, right? Otherwise, like Verna, you can fall down. And he had leprosy, and then he was in that Melisha family or something, and that's when this Lord descended Prithu Maharaj as his son. He came to deliver him from hell. And then he grew lots of crops and vegetables and everything. And what else was here? And then there was something about the Vedic literatures and principles of sacrifice, right? Like Prithu Maharaj, it was from him and not paid.
Yeah.
And then it also talks about Maharaj Chandragupta and Chanakya Pandit, because that time he was a king and Chanakya Pandit was his minister. So it's always like, even if you were king, you had a Brahmin on your side and they were not paid. So, so then, and those Brahmins, they don't have to take sides of the king because they have to tell the truth because they're not paid.
Yeah, very good point. You can sum it all up. Just one thing, Chanakya Pandit is not at all the same epoch as Dhruv, as Prithu. Chanakya Pandit is very recent. It's around the time of Alexander the Great, the Greek, the Great. Yeah, so basically, this Vena was extremely cruel. He was so cruel that he would kill his schoolmates at school. extremely cruel person. One of his parents was, I think his mother was Asuri. He was the offspring of, even both parents were Asuri, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely extremely cruel person. And in opposition to Kamsa or Shishupal or even, they were pretty cool, Kamsa, Shishupal, Dantavakra, they were unfavorable to Krishna, but still they were meditating on Krishna day and night. That is why they got somewhat of a mercy type of liberation. Some got Sayuja. Because practical, okay, but always meditating on Krishna, out of fear, out of envy. But Vena, that's way worse. Why? Because Vena didn't give a damn about Krishna, not even negatively. You follow? So he went to hell, full stop. You cannot put Vena in the same box as Shishupal or Dantavakra, Kamsa, you know? No, he's worse off.
I have one question. The Brahmanas, they kill King Vena by mantra and they churn his body to bring Prithu Maharaj. So here it's saying that when Maharaj Prithu heard about the hellish condition of his father Vena, who was suffering from leprosy in the family of the Malicha, he at once brought the former king to Kurukshetra for his purification and relieved him of all suffering. So it's a bit confusing. How?
Yes, Prabhu, what's your question?
My question is, when the Brahmanas, they kill King Vena by uttering mantras and they churn his body to bring up Prithu Maharaj from that churning.
Yeah.
So how come now here it's saying that Prithu Maharaj brought King Vena to Kurukshetra for purification?
Prithu Maharaj broke. Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, it's mentioned in Vaman Purana. If you want to know further about Prithu and all, Vaman Purana, so sometimes it refers to different incarnations. See, these are Lila avatars. So Lila avatar means recurring avatars. Sometimes it differs from one to the next a little bit. The version that we have in our fourth canto, you're right, because what happened is Vena got killed by the uttering of mantras of the Brahmanas, and for some time there was no one in charge. And actually, the good side, there was one good side of Vena. What is it? It was so cruel that even the rogues and thieves and dacoits, gundas, they were afraid. They know, we don't fool around with that king. He's so cruel. So at least there were no bandits, contrary to now. But when he died, because he was, like you said, he was killed by the mantras, then all the rogues and bandits came back, flourished. So then the Brahmins figured, because they had retired back in the forest, they were disgusted with him. And then it dawned upon them from in their own hermitages, they figured out, actually, we are at fault. The Brahmins thought to themselves, we are at fault. Why are they at fault?
They killed Vena.
Why they are at fault? They had killed Vena, yes, and then they split. They split off, went back to way deep in the forest in their own hermitages. Why they felt themselves at fault?
They didn't put someone to replace.
Exactly. See, it's incumbent upon the Brahmanas to step in. There's a tandem between the Kshatriyas and the Brahmanas. They work combinedly. Only if those two are well situated, the whole rest of the society will follow suit. The Vaishyas and Shudras are much less important, much less. If the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas check on each other, everything is fine. everything is going to unfold properly. So then they figure out to themselves, we are at fault. Prabhupada gives the example in that section, just like you have a jar of water cracked at the bottom, very tiny, thin crack. What's going to happen? Your water is leaking. In the same way, if you don't do your job as a Brahmana, your knowledge is leaking. It's not going to stay. It's going to leak out. So they figured out, yes, we are at fault. They came back to the kingdom and they said, they turned the ties of Vena. Because see what happened, the mother of Vena, when he died, out of motherly affection, she conserved the body of Vena in some oil vat. Just like Mao Zedong in China in the 50s. This Gunda was also conserved in some oil. You know that? Mao Zedong, Chinese leader in the 50s, is the one who introduced communism. So, and because that mother, you know, she did that out of love, my son, she put him in oil, and then the Brahman came back and they churned that body. So now what you're saying, because it's sometimes it refers to a different Prithu from a different Kalpa or different Yuga, you follow?
Yeah.
It's all mentioned in Vamdev, Vam Puran. But the good point, as exposed by Purnachandra Mataji, is that Putra. Putra means Putra.
It's a son, like a good son.
Well, you have to break it down. Putra, Trayate, is going to liberate one from Put. Put means hell. So that's why people want the son, because the son will free you from hell. And actually, it's interesting etymologically, in French slang, when you say, I don't want to say the name, it's a very heavy word, P-U-T-E, it means whore. And put in Sanskrit means hell, so you can see the connection. You can see it follows suit, and the wordings, there is always traces of Sanskrit in the meaning of words. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Vishwanath makes the same point, Moshe Prabhu, that definitely he had a lot of, actually, you have to understand, Vena was coming from a very illustrious family. He's coming from that line of Dhruv, actually. Dhruv was way back. Dhruv is great-grandson of Brahma, so way, way back in the beginning of the Kalpa. And then further down, we come to Prithu, but before Prithu, Vena. So it's a very, very illustrious dynasty. And in other words, the powers of Vena had been burnt up by the thunderbolt of the curse of the Brahmanas. He was meant to live long, that guy. But everything got reduced because he got burned. He got cursed by the Brahmanas. How can you live longer? Just like Romaharshan Sutta got beheaded by Balaram. He was meant to live such a long time. That is why the longevity of Romaharshan Sutta was handed over to Sutta Goswami. So he was meant to have a long life, but he blew it. He told the citizens, don't worship Vishnu, worship me. I'm Naradev. So the Maha Aparadi, Maha. So he went hell, body of afflicted by leprosy. So in a different, you're right, in a different incarnation, Prithu came, brought him to Prithu Lake at Kurukshetra, and told you, made him bathe there, and he got delivered from this unremitting suffering. This is Vampuran. See, that's why Vyasadeva, what he does when he compiles Bhagavatam, he picks here and there from different Puranas, you follow? So there may be slight variation. So what's to be noted here also in 9, and she made a very good point, Purnachandra, on this one. if you get paid as a Brahmana, you lose your power. So that is why Chanakya Pandit was so adamant. As soon as, remember, Maharaj Maurya, what was his name? Maharaj Chandragupta, he offered to build a cottage for him. He split on the spot. I'm out of here. I'm finished. I'm going. He would teach him from afar, and he would tell him, "You want to hear from me? You come to my place." Very humble dwelling. Never did he accept any money from Chandragupta. So this is the crack of the matter. As soon as you get paid, you cannot get on the case of the Kshatriya. That's why Bhishma and others, they got caught up in their own complexities because they could not leave because they got paid, they get fed by Duryodhana. You follow? So they became contaminated. Bhishma, Guru Drona, and all these guys, they became contaminated because they get paid. They get how do you say, maintained.
Hare
What
Krishna
about,
Prabhu.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes. Tell me.
Excuse me, Prabhu. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Prabhu, I will have to drop my daughter to
Yeah,
school.
sure, I understand.
So my apology, I will have to leave.
Yeah.
I might just attend the class on the way.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's to be lost if we disobey a great soul? This is the big lesson here. He could have had a very nice life, but he disobeyed the great soul. Then it's finished. Finished. Mahajana Yanasagata Panta. You may have a very good karma. Everything is rosy. Everything's gonna unfold properly for you. Good lineage, pure blood. But if you disobey the great soul, the story is over. Okay,
Prabhu,
let's carry on.
how do you reconcile? You say that
Yes, Prabhu.
if
You
a
have to
Brahmana
speak loud now.
Yeah, sorry. You said if a Brahmana get paid, he's finished. So how you reconcile Brahmanas in ISKCON when they do service, they get paid and
Yeah, that's a very good point. Not far from here at the manor, I think pujaris get 15 quids. 15 quids in slang means pounds. Can you imagine? 15 pounds per arti or something. I know.
because when Srila Prabhupada was here, nobody
Yeah.
was receiving salary or getting paid for seva.
Yeah, well, I don't know the details. I wasn't there, but Prabhupada did say Grihastha should live outside. And I mean, even still today in Mayapur, you get sometimes not pujaris, but Grihasthas working full-time for the temple. They get tiny peanuts, stipend. Like if I teach, I'm going to be moving to Mayapur soon. Puna Chandra, what's the name? Puna Rachitambara. She told me, okay, you teach for French. You may teach French in Smith School. She's going to give me 15,000 rupees. So I mean that's better than nothing, but it's peanuts, 15,000 is going to paper off my rent a little bit. So Prabhupada was okay with that.
Yeah.
That
if
is
you're
why.
teaching there, you're teaching that they will give you free rent.
Yeah, they will give me free. I mean, they will give me free tuition for the boy if I put my boy in there. She told me.
Oh.
But what I'm saying is, Prabhupada, yes, he said, we may give you a little something, but not much. So better you live outside and do your living.
Yeah, because there's a quote Prabhupada said, if you want money, so you go outside temple, work.
Exactly. Grihastha means outside. Prabhupada was he said, you live outside. We're not here to support you, but okay, if you can manage to get by with very minimal, okay, no problem. But no one can do that because it's too minimal. And the wife wants a sari, she wants this, finish. You cannot keep up. So anyway, yes, definitely, Prabhu. It has become crippled. has become crippled. Definitely. It's Duratma.
And the worst thing, you know, there was a time here in Vancouver, one devotee, female devotee, she was a dentist, and still when she was coming to do pujari service at temple, she would claim that she has to be paid.
This is nonsense.
That is bad, eh?
This is nonsense. No, things are, Kali Yoga is infiltrating is gone if you're not careful. That's the role of the leaders, to put their foot down, the GBCs. But you know, they may say, well, Prabhu, no one is coming to do the puja. We have to say, this is the same problem everywhere for so many decades. Even here, they stay 2 years, 3 years, then they say, oh, Prabhu, I have to go back home, my parents. So you don't keep the pujaris. That is why the best course of action is to give a stipend. You know, it's different. It's different. It's different. If the TP, you know, let's say the pujari has been working 3 years flat, and like we have one devotee at Mahashankarshan, his parents are sick. He's from Brazil. He's going to go back. He has to take care of his parents. So now, if the TP comes and says, look, Prabhu, very happy with your service. We wish we keep you longer. Please take 2,000-3,000. You know, okay, that's different. That's a stipend. That's a donation. That's fine. But coming from the pujari, Prabhu, I want 10 euros per arati. That's nonsense. And if the leader gives, then the leader is guilty. 10. Naber asavri shaba asade sudevi sunu yovet chachara samadrik jada yoga charyam yat paramahamsyam rishaya padam amananti svashta prashanta karana parimukta sangaha.
10. Can I read?
Yeah.
The Lord appeared as a son of Sudevi, the wife of King Nabhi, and was known as Rishabdeva. He performed materialistic yoga to equivalence the mind. The state is also accepted as the highest perfectional situation of liberation, where one is situated in oneself and is completely satisfied. So here we are talking about the Jada yoga thing, which is a prasanta karna something. It's subduing senses, right? And then they're talking about the sun Prithvi Maharaj, right? So we're talking about Rishabh, right? Rishabdev.
Rishabdev, yeah.
Rishabdev is the son of Sudevi, and sometimes she's also called Miru Devi, and the wife of King Nabhi, and he's a grandson of King Agni, something father of King Bharat, right? Because Rishabdev's son was Bharat, and Bharat was the greatest man of how Bharat came, like Bharat came, right, into being because of Bharat. And he performed this materialistic yoga to balance his mind, and that is the highest perfection of situational liberation, where one is satisfied with oneself, and they can go to the extreme of doing anything. And Jada yoga is like a dumb stone, like it's like a big stone where if you hit with something or you love it, it doesn't make no difference, not affected by any material reaction. Then it talks about it gets you free from materialistic desires and get situated in self. So Rishabdeva, at the end of his life, he wondered, Rishabh Deva, like when I was reading this, I felt so bad. And end of the life, he was wandering around like a madman, and he bodily like he wasn't even worrying about his body or nothing. And he was naked, long hair, long beard, and people used to spit on him, urinate on him,
Yeah.
uh, and then he used to just stay in his stool and never move, but his stool was so fragrant. So when this
It's true.
so when these saints came, right, and they recognized him right away that he was a Paramahamsa, because if you have a stool that will smell like a fragrant flower, then yeah, I don't know. Otherwise, that's why God made that it stings all the time, right? So that's a and if you cannot make your stool fragrant, yes, then don't imitate. They said don't imitate. So and for nowadays in our lives, we cannot do this. So because and we cannot do that, we have to go on bhakti yoga. We can't go on jada yoga. It's not possible for us, but it's okay for us to do bhakti yoga.
Yeah.
And the only salvation we have is Srimad Bhagavatam. Just here, Srimad Bhagavatam is the highest perfection or stage of yoga in our lives. Thank you. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
thank you. Thank you for the nice rendering. Yeah, so basically, this Lord Rishabdev is none other than is a direct Shaktivesh, extremely powerful avatar. And the Rishabdev's teachings are extremely spoken about by Srila Prabhupada. Hundreds and hundreds of classes. 551, 552, 553, 554. Look it up. Hundreds of classes. Nayamatma Pravachanina Labyo, sorry, not this one. Nunam Pramata Kurute Vikarma Yadindriya Pritaya Aprinoti Nasadumani Atmanoyam Asanapi Trishada Asadeyaha. This is one of them, perhaps must be perhaps 554, perhaps. Nunam Pramata Kurute Vikarma. If you indulge yourself, Nunam Pramata Kurute Vikarma. In Vikarma means non-shastric things against Dharma, against karma. Vikam, ugrakam, then sense gratification. You become mad. Pramata, mad. Totally mad, madden. Nunam pramata kurute vikarma, nadindriya pritaya aprinuti indriya. You are pulled by the indriya, the senses. Nasadumanye atmanoyam. So Lord Rishabdev is telling his sons, headed by Bharat, first, Nasadumanye, I don't think it's very fitting, my dear boys, to again engage in sense gratification, by which you're going to get another body. And we got a body in the first place to enjoy. It's a reward. We think, wow, great, I get a brand new body. I'm a young boy, I'm a young girl, I'm going to enjoy like hell. But at the end of the day, you suffer like hell. So then Rishabdev is telling the boys, Nasta Dumanier is, I don't think it's very sensitive to do that. See? So Vidbujamye means like a stool, like a pig eating stool. The sense gratification, whether you are a pig or a cat or a man or woman, it's part of the game. It's part of your karma. You're going to get it anyway, whether you strive for it or not. Same with your lot of duk, of displeasing things. You're going to get it either way. Narad explained that point in 1518 also. You don't have to zigzag to avoid your bad karma. It's going to come anyway. Good and bad is going to come anyway, automatically. Better you spend the remaining portion of your life to cultivate Krishna consciousness. Both will come on their own, of their own accord. Nalabate Yanam. What is that verse? 1:5-18. So anyway, to go back to Rishabdev, this is a very illustrious line. This is the line of Nabi, the father, and then before Nabi, it's Angadri, I think his name is right here, Agnidra, sorry. And who is the father of Agnidra?
I didn't get that one.
Sorry?
Who is that?
The father, it goes like this. Rishabdev, father, Nabi, father, Agnidra, and the father of Agnidra?
I don't know.
This is, Prabhupada said, you know what he said on the 5th canto? He said this is the most illustrious line ever. He doesn't say Krishna, line edge. He said this is the line. This is Priyavrat, the father. Priyavrat is the eldest son of Swayambhu Vamana. Do you know the length of his reign? 1 billion.1. Just his reign is 1100 millions of years. 1 billion.1 years of just the reign. This is extremely powerful personality. Priyavrat. He used to reign on the whole Bhumandal. Not only Jambudvip like Parikshit or Yudhishthir, the whole Bhumandal. Yeah. So, yes, you're right, Mataji. Jad Yoga is not for us, definitely. And at the end of the day, when he retired, he was Avadut, extremely transcendental. He gave up even the association of those sages. They used to follow him. They used to imitate his renunciation. Who is the one who imitated way after? He imitated the lifestyle of Rishabdev, and he started a very strong religion called Jainisms. Who is that king who started off Jainisms? Do you know?
No.
King Arat. King Arat.
King
What happened
Arat.
is King Arat, he was renounced, and he said, I have to find a role model. And he studied in the days of yore, and he studied the life of Rishabdev Maharaj, who is Shaktaveshavata. And he said, wow, this is my mentor. This is my role model. I have to follow him. And it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam, even yogis cannot follow Rishabdev mentally. He's such an advanced personality. You cannot even follow him in the mind. What to speak in with the body. Forget it. So that king, what happened is he started to, instead of following in the footsteps, which is fine, it's called Anusharan, he did Anukaran. No, let me imitate him. He is nowhere near, but he dared to imitate Rishabdev. And then he launched a religion. It's called Jainisms. Still today, they exist if you go to India. So basically, Jainism is a fake. It's fake. It's a fake model of Jad Yoga. You cannot imitate Rishabdev. There's no way. He had no affection for the sages, Rishabdev. He was totally aloof because he thought to himself, they cannot understand my renunciation. He's on a very high, you cannot, he's God himself, he's Shaktavesh. Yeah. So this is the point here. Okay, so let's carry on. Satre mamasa Bhagavan ayashiras shatu sakshat sayagya purushas tapaniya vanaha chandomayo makamayo kila divatatma vacho babuvu ushati shvasato syanastaha. I agree now.
Okay, is Prabhu gonna read?
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Is he
11,
here?
no?
Yeah.
Okay. The Lord appeared at the Hayagriva incarnation in a sacrifice performed by me, Brahma,
He the personified sacrifices, and the hue of his body is golden. He is the personified Vedas as well, and the super soul of all demigods. When he breathed, all the sweet sounds of the Vedic hymns came out of his nostrils. So, uh, so here he's speaking about Hayagriva. Hayagriva, is this the horse incarnation, Prabhu?
Yes. Not to be confused, Hayagriva, Nasu, be careful. Huh? There's one Nasu called Hayagriva. There is an incarnation of God called Hayagriva. Not be confused.
Yeah. Hayagriva appeared to save the Vedas against two asuras.
Yeah, see, there's a whole story that's way back at the dawn of creation. Tene Brahma Rida Adikavaye. See, Adikavi, Lord Brahma, is Brahma. Brahma means Vedic knowledge, basically. Vidhi. Vidhi is the name of Brahma. He knows the rules. So he got the Vedas, as we know. Remember, when he came out from the world of the lotus, he was bewildered. There's no one. It's all dark, pitch dark. Nothing is there. Way before the creation, the Visarga. So then he become frightened, and then tap, he heard. He came down in the stem, way down. And sorry, when he came, he could not even, before he got to the bottom, which is basically the navel of the Lord, Gabodakashai Vishnu. Before it touched the bottom, he went back up, and then he heard tap. So then he engaged into severe penances. Then, what did he hear? The sound of the flute of Lord Krishna from Golok. And then from that came Gayatri, and from that came Mahavakya. And then Shatushloki. So, in other words, no one will deny that the Vedas came from the mouth of Lord Brahma, directly imparted by the breakdown that I just told you. The sound of the flute, then the sound of the flute, then the Mahavakya, not the Gayatri first, then Mahavakya, Om, then Shatushloki. So he has been initiated directly by Lord. Tene Brahma Ridadi Kavaye. So he got the Vedas stolen very early, very early. This one Asur, his name was, I'm trying to remember his name. I forgot his name. Madhu or something. Ketava.
Ketav.
Yeah, Ketav, you're right. So he got it stolen. Then the Lord came. The Lord, we discussed way back before this section of chapter 7, remember? We discussed that when there was nothing, there's nothing. Still, he has to perform sacrifice. He used, even his own body is made of the Lord's body. The body of Brahma is made. He would take materials from within the stem to create things, ingredients. And the Lord is not touched by this process of creation. He's always as he is. So it's mentioned here in 11, the hue of the Lord, as I agree, is golden. Is personified Vedas. And he recovered the Vedas and he gave it back to Brahma. That's the job that he did, the service that he performed. Lord, I agree. Is himself is the Vedic song personified. It came out from his mouth. He has the form of he's got a horse head. Is Vishnu Tattva. So now let's see, this is 11. Let's see what I've got here. 11, 11. Yeah. Yeah, nothing new. Nothing new. Let's move on. We have 10 minutes. Matsyo. Yes, Prabhu.
I have one question.
Yeah.
About the sound of the flute. So, does it comprise, like you said, the Veda emanation of Vedas? So, does it include also like scriptures, like knowledge of Bhagavatam?
Yeah. This is, see, there's a verse, Brihad Aryanaka Upanishad. Look it up in the Gita 3:15. Krishna, Prabhupada quotes that verse, Brihad Aryanaka Upanishad. It says, the breathing, what is the Vedas? We know there's one Ved, then it breaks down into four, Atharva, Yajur, Rig, Sama. Everything comes from the breathing of the Lord. The Vedas come from the breathing of the Lord, whether it's Shruti or Smriti, by the way. My Shastra Guru, his name is Kanai Krishna Prabhu. I took a course, I took a few courses from him. He was very specific. We should not belittle this. Oh, it's Smriti, Prabhu, it's less. No. This division is coming from Shankar, by the way. In Shruti, Smriti, we are taught in ISKCON. Actually, this is coming from Shankar. It's not a Vaishnava thing. Even if you look at Gaudiya Vaishnava, we capitalize much more on Smriti than Shruti. Why? Why? People say, well, why don't you stick to the original Vedas, the Shruti? Shruti Praman.
Because the Smritis are touched by the devotees, the lips of the devotees.
Yeah, and on top of that, Shruti has quite vastly disappeared. Tell me about the original Vedas. You find tidbits. So Kanai Krishna Prabhu was very clear. At least there is one portion of the Smriti which is untouched, still totally available. That is the Puranas, 4 lakh verses. They're still there. That is why as Gaudiya we focus a lot on Puranas. And even Vyasadeva. And we shouldn't be thinking, oh, it's lesser, because the wordings can change. So what? All these sages are Nirgun. And on top of that, I remember asking Kanai Krishna Prabhu, whether it's Shruti or Smriti, it still comes from the breathing of the Lord. We cannot say, oh, it's lesser. So no offense. Again, this division is coming from Shankar. It is not so much relevant as Gaudiya. This division doesn't have so much relevance. Yeah. So what was the question, Prabhu?
No, I wanted to know like knowledge about Bhagavatam. Was it
Yeah.
included?
As I said, Bhagavatam is, this is Nigama Kalpatalu Galitam Phalam. This is the topmost fruit of the desired tree of the Vedic knowledge. On the contrary, you know, when you, the last product, the last rendition is the best, because it is the highest fruit on the Vedic tree. And we know from Bhagavatam itself, first canto 178, look it up, that Lord Vyasadeva was dissatisfied. He had compiled everything. He has put into order. Bhagavad Chakara Rishi. Vyasadeva means to divide, to organize. So he had compiled everything. And then he wrote the first, Garud Puran explained, he wrote the blueprint of Bhagavatam. See, like a synopsis. And then he put it aside and he jumped to Mahabharata. Vedanta Sutra, Mahabharata. First Vedanta Sutra, then Mahabharata. And then we know the story, beginning of the first canto, chapter 4, chapter 5, 6. Dissatisfied, not happy at heart, and of course he came to his own conclusion, I haven't sufficiently glorified Lord Krishna. that's corroborated. Narad appears on the scene. Yes, you're right, my dear Prabhu. Then he's even sarcastic to him. Oh, how can you be undone, my dear Prabhu? You are Vishnu himself. How can you be undone? He's a bit playing with him. And Vyasadeva is very humble. He says, yes, my dear Lord, his guru is there, Narad. He's telling him, yes, I admit, I'm dissatisfied. And Narad is not revealing immediately the answer. He's playing with him. Oh, Brahmadarshan, you want everyone to come on the Brahman platform realized when you yourself are not realized. How come you are dissatisfied? Do you want your readers to be satisfied? And of course, Vyasadeva he understands. He's getting it. Even Narad is so heavy, he calls him, what you have done is jugupsitam. It's abominable. Can you imagine? He's telling Vyasadeva, what you have done is abominable. Yes, because in the name of religion, in the name of the Vedas, you are kind of tapping into the conditioning of the jiv. We know the conditioned jiv by nature is attracted to nonsense. By nature. And you are kind of giving legitimacy to all these pursuits in a candy-coated type of a religious approach, Vedic approach. So in that sense, my dear Vyasadeva, it's jugupsitam, it's abominable. Then, of course, Vyasadeva becomes totally hit by Narad. He understands. Narad has driven the point home. And as upon leaving, Narad leaves the scene and immediately, 174, Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranite Male Pashat Purusham Purnamayam Shadada Pashrayam. Immediately in trance, at the topmost maturity of his spiritual excellence, he meditates on the Lord, Bhakti Yogena Manasi, and with no inebriety, no tinge of materialism, apasham purusham parnam, he sees Krishna in trance. And right behind Krishna, he sees Maya. Maya who is ashamed. She's ashamed. And then those 4 verses are extremely important. Burijan used to say, this is the purpose of the Bhagavatam is there. 174, 175, 176, 177. Yasyam vei Shrunamayayam Krishna Param Purushe. Then that's why he compiled Bhagavatam. And then 178, this is the key verse. What does he do? He goes back to Bhagavatam. Can you imagine? Garud Puran explained Bhagavatam was done before Vedanta Sutra, before Mahabharata. And then other Shastra says, no, it was done after. So you're going to pull your hair. The answer is given in 178. What happened? Bhagavatam was done in twofold way. Blueprints before Vedanta Sutra and Mahabharata. Then he left it there. And it was not finished. It's a blueprint. It's a shorter version. 178, after his guru had left, he went back at it. And the verse, look it up, 178. I've got it here. I've got the first canto right here. The term is there, very important term. Devotees don't know this point. Kritvanu by correction and repetition. See? 178. Kritvanu he has touched, he has revised, he has rectified, he has completed the Bhagavatam. So the completion of Bhagavatam is after. Yes, it's now you're right. It's after Mahabharata. But the original touch, the original blueprint of Bhagavatam was done before. He never finished it. Once Narad left, yes, then he completed it. So the version that we have now is the completed version. That's Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavat Purana. Nigama Kalpataloga Nitam Phalam. So this is the point. Okay, so we'll stop here and we will carry on from 12 because we didn't touch on Matasya. Matasya is coming up in 12. Do you have any questions?
It was a nice class today, Prabhu.
Thank you. Yeah, this is Bhagavatam, and there's no Bhagavatam is beyond this time, beyond this life, beyond this kind, beyond all these things, you know. Beyond the country, Vancouver, this, that, beyond the body, beyond. This is the real life. That's going to keep you in spiritual life, the Bhagavatam. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
Yeah. So, Hare Krishna. So, by the way, let's see. I'm going to Germany on Saturday, but I can teach. I start teaching on Monday there, but Sunday I can teach because I won't be teaching. My assignment starts on Monday.
So you're going to stay there for a while or just?
No,
for
1 week.
Oh, good.
But definitely the Wednesday next week I won't be able because I'll be teaching.
Okay.
My
That's-
assignment starts on Monday. So, and on Sunday I can teach. I'll be there.
Yeah, Sunday, but Wednesday probably you'll be busy. Then we'll
No,
miss.
the next Wednesday I won't be able because I will be, see, I'm going to be teaching like 3-4 hours a day there.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I'm going to be quite caught up. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Bol.